Drink it in, man.
Deep left side carry on. Picks on the block. At the 5. At the 2. At the 1 to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions.
Drink it in, man.
Get up, Stafford throws. It is end zone. Caught! Oh, baby, what a catch! Kenny Galladay, you're a freak! What a catch! Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Cornbread!
I love the Lions! Say it with me! I love the Lions!
Drink it in, man.
Detroit Koolaid, what is going on, everybody? We're back, and we're back here for a bonus podcast. We're talking about a mock draft, the first round. I got some of my buddies on the line. We got Chuck Dog, who's been here before. Chuck, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, Derek, man? Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, man, glad to have you. This should be fun. And then the one and only, returning, as always, Grifka, what's going on, buddy?
I'm interested to do this draft to see what's changed since the first time we did it.
Absolutely, man. Lots has went on since, and we are a few weeks away from the draft 2019. Everybody's looking forward to it with their own teams. Chuck is a Cowboys fan. Remember him being on the Cowboys show. They do not have a first rounder, but Chuck is going to step to the podium with the number 1 overall pick with the Arizona Cardinals. Chuck, who are you taking?
Well, from all the talk that I hear, and me personally, if I was the head coach for the Arizona Cardinals, I probably wouldn't go this way. But from what I hear, the Arizona Cardinals, with the first pick, is going to take quarterback Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I mean, my quick take, it just seems like, they have to, but they got to get rid of Rosen. That's the big thing, is get a good price for him and then get this new quarterback that fits the scheme and all that's kind of a double dip move, but they got to get it done, I think.
Well, to me, I don't think, I can't say for sure, but my personal opinion is I don't think Kyler Murray is going to be a good NFL quarterback. He should have just stuck with baseball, where I heard he was really good at.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he could be good. This is when I throw it to Grifka because I can't wait to hear his reply again about how Kyler Murray's going to be terrible. Go ahead, Grifka.
I'm with Chuck. He's going to be terrible.
All right, and tell the people why again, because he's small and all that good stuff.
Oh, yeah, he dominated a league that played no defense. Congratulations. I mean, Alabama had him shut down until they decide to play off and keep everything in front of him, just keep the clock moving. That's when Oklahoma finally scored against Alabama, because Alabama's like, we can score on your garbage defense whenever we want, and they pretty much did. So Kyler Murray, so what? He threw up a lot of stats in a pass-happy league and in a league that didn't play any defense. Congratulations. Everybody's fast in the pros.
Yeah, he's a quarterback that's under 200 pounds, so he will be, in the NFL, he takes any kind of hits. That's a small guy to be taking any kind of hits in.
Yeah, I think he's a little small, but, I mean, it's 2019 NFL. This is in the 80s, so they throw it around. They protect the quarterback, and you've seen small guys make plays. So I think you'd probably
We'll have a side note about how the running quarterback was supposed to change the NFL, like when Mike Vick came in there, and it didn't. It's still a pocket passer league, so.
All right. With the second pick, step into the podium for the San Francisco 49ers.
With San Francisco's people they've signed in the free agency period, this guy definitely helped. It's one of their main needs. They're going to take Josh Allen out of the University of Kentucky.
All right. So Josh Allen going number 2. You normally do not see outside linebackers, but he does have some rush ability. So Grifka is taking Josh Allen over Nick Bosa. Why?
I don't know with Nick Bosa's injury. I mean, I'm still hearing everything as, he's progressing, he'll be fine. But that's like one of those odd injuries that could flare up at some point. I just think at this point, Josh Allen's a little safer pick.
All right. Grifka is throwing the draft off with only 2 picks going down. So that's perfect. Chuck, you got anything before we move to pick number 3 here?
Yeah, I mean, it's a safe pick. Everything that I'm reading and heard that they really love Quinnen Williams. So I thought maybe he'd go that way with them signing or trading for Dee Ford. that pretty much is the same thing that Josh Allen would be. And the 49ers are in a love fest with Quinnen Williams. I think that's the way they would have went. But, I'm not mad at the pick. He's, Josh Allen's going to be a pretty good pass rusher. So.
Yeah, Allen's a great player. I really haven't heard that much about Williams going to San Francisco. It's all been Bosa, what I've been hearing. I mean, how many times are the Niners going to take defensive linemen? It seems like 8 years in a row they take a big edge or a big defensive tackle that could get up the field. So, I had him at Bosa. So with number 3 here, I'm stepping to the podium. I'm just not going to pass on talent, the lineage, all that stuff with the Jets. I'll go ahead and take Bosa here. Just, I think people are overthinking this guy. I think he's got a great motor, gets after the quarterback, pretty easy pick for almost any team here up in the top 5, top 10. All right, we got Raiders. If nobody's got anything else, we got the Raiders at number 4. We'll bounce this back to Chuck. Raiders got a lot of picks, starting with the number 4. Which way do they go?
Well, I'm gonna give the Raiders Quinnen Williams. The Raiders couldn't stop the run to save their life last year. So, he'll be one of those guys that can plug in, and he'll probably start right away.
Yeah, they got Hankins and who's the guy from Michigan that had the heart issues? His name's passing me. Maurice Hurst. He ended up playing really well and, had no signs of the conditions. All that stuff always comes out and scares people away. So they got 2 big guys up in the middle. You're gonna put Q in there as well?
I believe so. Those 2 big guys obviously didn't stop the run enough for them. So, they're going to upgrade their talent a little more.
They got Hankins.
Yeah.
I think they got Hankins later in the year, but yeah, I mean, they definitely got to upgrade. And to me, it's just talent. You know what I mean? Like, if he's going to fall to you at 4, you just can't really let him slide by. Grifka, any thoughts?
No, I think he's going to be a good pick, even if or a good player if he pairs up in that nice rotation. I believe John Gruden's a man who likes to have a very big, strong defensive line, so he fits right in there with those guys.
Okay, and before we go to Tampa Bay, does anybody see the Raiders going quarterback here, or are they just going to roll with Derek Carr?
It's a possibility that the Raiders do go quarterback here. I think John Gruden has a man crush on Kyler Murray. So if Kyler Murray, for some reason, goes past Arizona, the other 2 teams obviously aren't going to take him. So if he slips to Oakland, I could see Oakland taking Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I think Dwayne Haskins looks like a professional right now. I mean, the way he looks, he throws, his just overall manner, I think he could be really good in the right situation. So I don't see the Raiders going there, but I mean, you can roll with Derek Carr, but he's not a long-term solution. So I would consider Haskins there at 4 if they really loved him for whatever reason. So. Yeah. Grifko, we got you with Tampa Bay. Number 5, this is kind of a swing pick. I've seen lots of different people go at the spot. They have a couple openings, and there's some good guys on the board. Where are you going with the Tampa Bay Bucks?
I believe Tampa Bay really likes speed at the linebacker position, so they are going to take Devin White out of LSU.
Okay, Devin White's definitely one of the guys I've seen. The thing with him is that, again, these middle linebackers going in the top 5, Josh Allen at number 2, it always seems like a little bit of an overvalue. But, I mean, I love Devin White as a player. I just think, could they go get some other impact positions? But they definitely need a linebacker now that Alexander has gone, and they got a few other guys that are getting a little bit older. So, Chuck, any thoughts on that pick, Devin White?
No, I think it's a good pick for Tampa. Devin White's a heck of a ball player. I think he'll end up being a very solid pro.
Yeah. But I mean, they lose a linebacker and they add one. Like, sometimes I don't feel like your team gets better. You're just kind of like making up for letting a guy walk by taking a guy in the top 5.
Sometimes you make your team better by saving money. So I think they probably let that other linebacker go, draft this guy younger, saving some money, so that way they can, obviously add pieces later.
Yeah. And real quick, Chuck, because we got you on, like, do you put positional value in the draft? Do you think, like, you got to take defensive ends, quarterbacks, corners, all that stuff high? Or do you just sort of think, I'm going to take the best player at need and not worry about if he's a offensive guard or a middle linebacker or a, defensive tackle? Some of those guys aren't as valued. Like, give me your quick take on that before we keep it moving.
My take on that is simple. I mean, I take whatever the best player is on that board, and if that player, no matter what position he is, if he can help your ball club right then and there, or he's a quick guy that can get on there and take care of your team, then yeah, I'd go with him. It doesn't matter to me, outside of being a punter or a kicker. Some of these guys are taking kickers in the second round. I would never do that. But outside of that, yeah, it doesn't really matter. I know Mike here doesn't like taking inside offensive lineman early, but to me, if that person is your missing piece, take him when you want him, and if he's the best one available, and if that's what you need, take him. The Cowboys took Zach Martin early a couple of years back, and that's worked out fine for them.
Yeah, okay. I differ a little bit on that. I think because the contracts are so low, you love to get those premium guys, where you can get a linebacker at better contracts in free agency and whatnot. But like you say, it's hard to pass on the best player. Grifka, I think, took a really good player there at number 5.
Absolutely.
So, at number 6, this is a huge pick. This is probably the pick in the draft where you're either going to see some, a move that's going to shake the rest of the draft down. I could see this team coming up if needed, the New York Giants. I'm sitting here at 6. I've seen who's went before. I mean, in this scenario, I don't know if I get to pick at 17 for the Giants, but this is sort of a combo pick. So if this is how it fell, I'm going to take Rashawn Gary here at number 6, just because I feel like a guy like Gettleman really values, like I said, kind of that he's going to get an edge rusher here, meat and potatoes, a guy that, is from the Jersey area, that he can get after the quarterback, and then hoping that he can kind of take care of what he needs to at 17. So I'm going to take Rashawn Gary, kind of defensive end, but you can also move him inside for the Giants. And like I say, just that hometown feel, I think he's the pick for that team right there.
That's a good pick, even though I hate when Michigan players go to teams I hate.
All right. So like you say, it's a hard one for the Giants. Everybody's talking about quarterback there. I think they can maybe let it slide. And it's curious what they're doing. They've been giving away a lot of talent. So at number 7, we'll go back to Chuck with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Let's see, Jacksonville. This team. Normally at first before they signed Nick Foles, I had them, obviously a quarterback here. I still think they could use a quarterback because, I still don't think, Nick Foles is going to be the answer. But right now, I don't believe they'll go quarterback. So I think they're going to take the best player on the board to boost that defense a little bit, and they'll end up taking Ed Oliver.
To the Jags, who the Jags always load up on nasty defenders. You've got them doing the same thing again. Where do you play Oliver? Is he just an inside rusher basically again? They have a lot of those in Jacksonville.
No, I think they put him in the middle. Jacksonville had a hard time stuffing that run in the middle a little bit last year. People started to notice that they couldn't stop the run. They got crazy pass defense, but they started noticing they couldn't stop the run, so they started running on them, and then that's how the Jacksonville defense started getting, taken advantage of.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great pick just from a talent perspective. Any thoughts on that, Grifka? Ed Oliver to Jacksonville?
I mean, we've talked about this before. Get your bell. Ed Oliver is going to be a stud, so I think he can be a dominant player on that Jacksonville defense.
Yeah, and like you say, now with Foles, I still think they have some receivers over there, but, it would have been curious if they try to find that beast of a number 1 right there. I partly don't like it because Grifka has allowed me to pick for the Lions here at 8, and Oliver was going to be my guy. I've kind of tried to tell people that for a while now. I have made some different picks and some different mock drafts, but had Ed Oliver fallen, that was going to be my pick for the Lions. I think you can move them all around. I think he showed out recently just from athleticism. He was playing out of position in college and getting triple teamed most of the time. He still blew up plays. So here I am with the Lions at 8. We have got some skill guys. We even have a Dwayne Haskins still on the board, TJ Hawkinson, guys like that. If this is the scenario, I'm going to go take a guy who I think has crept up here late in the process, and based on what the Lions have done, getting a big edge like Flowers and kind of adding some pieces in the corner position. I think right here you go ahead and you get Brian Burns from Florida State, a guy that can basically be a jack linebacker like where Kennard is, can maybe bring him off, the same edge, different both edges. He's got freaky bend, just a guy that I think is lighter than most, but I think he can really wreak some havoc in after the quarterback, and being a player like Devin Kennard was this year, who was way better than advertised. So that's kind of how I'd go at this position. Grifka, since you're on the Koolaid Cast with me, if this is how it fell, I'm curious who you would take here.
I would probably look to take, even though, like you said, they got Flowers, I would probably look to take Montez Sweat right here. That's who I would have picked. Guy's speed, he's fast, get around the field. It would definitely help the Lions defense, get to the quarterback. So that's who I probably would have took.
Right. I think Sweat's a good player. I just think that, I don't know. Burns just seems a little more versatile, and I want to see Okwara get time. I don't want to see him just be a total backup. So I'm fine to go in with Okwara and Flowers, and then get Burns, who's more of a edge guy than just a straight-up big defensive end. But, like you say, your boy Sweat has had a heck of a draft process as well, climbing up that board. So interesting to see. Burns is the pick here in this mock. So let's go ahead and we'll go back to Grifka here with the Buffalo Bills at number 9.
Let's see. One guy I kind of want to take him, but we've talked about this before, Bell. Warm weather guys going to cold weather teams. But Buffalo really needs help on their offensive line, so I'm going to take Juwan Taylor, offensive lineman out of Florida.
Yeah, that's a good pick, an interesting pick, because a lot of drafts have had him going sooner. We let him slip down to 9. This is kind of where if they're going tackle, you're seeing a Jonah Williams, you're seeing some of these other tackles go. But I think Buffalo would like to get a guy like that at number 9. So big old guy with some good feet, kind of athletic out there on the edge. So let's go Chuck here at number 10. Chuck, Denver Broncos. What do you think?
Well, if I'm Denver, I am running to the podium, and I'm taking quarterback Dwayne Haskins.
Okay.
This is an easy pick for them. I know they traded for Joe Flacco, but we all know who Flacco is. He's not going to be a dominant force at the quarterback position for them. Go draft Haskins, let him sit behind Flacco for a year, and then you got your quarterback of the future.
Yeah, I agree with your reasoning. The thing I disagree with is, like, for some reason, as bum as Joe Flacco has been, I feel like Denver is like a good fit. Like he could have like 2 good years, maybe even 3 out there if he really gets it together. I don't know. The guy can throw. They give him some tight ends. That's what he loves to throw to. I could see it working out there. And how many times is John Elway just going to randomly take a quarterback, hoping that it works? I don't know. Like, Dwayne Haskins doesn't seem like a fit in Denver. You know what I mean? Like he does in New York or some of these other teams. It doesn't seem like that would be where he'd flourish, in my opinion.
Well, he's a big, he's the top quarterback in the draft, and you're sitting at number 10, and the top quarterback of the draft falls to you. And you've got an elderly quarterback on your team. I think, to me, I think you're running up the podium and getting them.
Right. It's a huge need you're filling. I always think of like, yeah, you can fill a need, but the player sort of has to fit too. Almost feels like Drew Lock would fit better in Denver, just from a type of quarterback that Elway likes, that strong arm, big quarterback, as well as just like the personality, the type of player. I feel like it'd be more of a fit. But like you say, you're filling a huge need there.
I mean,
so you can't.
I have a question,
that.
just off note. How long will it be before maybe like a Denver quarterback is successful out there? It seems like they're still playing in the shadow of John Elway. I mean, Chuck, you know this. How long did it take Dallas to really get a dominant quarterback after Roger Staubach retired? I mean, they went through a number because, he was around. And it seemed like they were in the shadow of Roger Staubach for a while. I mean, John Elway's still with the team. He's, with the GM or whatever. It's almost like there's such a high standard out there, and if a guy isn't John Elway, he's kind of frowned upon. They kick him out the door really quick. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, Haskins I think is a good pick here. I really do. But it's one of those things I don't know if he's always going to kind of be looking over his shoulder because there's a Hall of Famer there staring at him. So
how many wins does Elway have for a Super Bowl?
How many wins?
Yeah.
Yeah, two Super Bowls.
2 Super Bowl wins?
Yeah.
And how many did Peyton Manning have there?
One.
Did he just get the one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but it's not like, Elway is probably an icon in Denver. He was to me, he was a great quarterback, but he's not, you're not going in there replacing somebody that was, I don't know, they had a tradition of winning everything. He lost a lot as well. So I don't know. To me, I think Haskins would be the right pick. I think they need a young quarterback, and I think he's the right pick.
Yeah. Good thinking too, Griff. I mean, they've taken a while there, but I mean, they're just piecemealing players. So Chuck's like sort of finally getting them a guy that he thinks will be the franchise. I just think, we would see how that would work out. So with number 11 here, I'll go back. I'll get the Bengals pick. I mean, the Bengals have been taking like offensive guards, have been taking centers. They keep letting Andy Dalton play quarterback. I mean, had Dwayne Haskins fallen, I may have considered him at number 11. Just him and Mixon and some younger guys on the outside. I think that might have worked in Cincy. They've got linebacker, tackle, interior lineman sort of as their basic needs. But like I say, they kind of keep just overlooking quarterback. Let me see what I want to do here. I think I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and shake it up a little bit here. I've been seeing this guy move up the board since linebacker. It says is their top need, and they got rid of Vontez. Let's go ahead and give him Devin Bush, crazy middle linebacker with Michigan, fly around the field, be the captain of that defense. I'm going to take him here all the way up at number 11.
Speedy linebacker, not a bad pick. And I think he plays with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder because people have always said he's undersized. So, I think it's a good pick for Cincinnati.
This guy's been going in the lower part of the round, but like recently I've seen him at 15, moving up into the lower upper teens, so I think that people are starting to not worry so much about how late they can get him. It's like if they need a linebacker and Devin White's gone, this is the other guy to get. So, Chuck, did you say you're trying to find him? You act like you don't have him on your list. Come on, buddy.
He was down there. I found him.
Okay. All right. Well, like I say, there was lots of ways it could have went there, man. I had lots of different names. So just
I think
need and going with players. So that's kind of where I went.
Yeah, he was the best inside linebacker available. Yep. And they just lost, or they just released what's his name, the guy that was like fined for every game because he's one of the dirtiest players in the world. What was his name?
Yeah, Vontez Perfect.
Thank you. Yeah, he slipped my mind, but yeah, that guy was a dirty player. He had to replace him. Yeah, and Devin Bush would probably fit their defense. So overall, I think that's the pick they could go. Yeah, absolutely.
Chuck, I try to be nice to you when you're a guest on the show, but you just pulled an Oakrey where you didn't listen to what I said because I talked about Vontez and then you asked about him and try to remember his name. So that's kind of what I do sometimes when I tune out Grifka for 5 or 10 minutes.
Well, to be fair, Derek, you did. I lost you for about 10 seconds. I couldn't hear a word you were saying.
All right. Well,
so
that's a good excuse, but you still get a bell for it. So, anyway, just having some fun there. So, Griff, let's see, where are we at? Chuck, are you going to pick for the Packers at 12 here?
Yeah, I can do that.
You're going to let me pick?
No, you don't get to pick.
Okay.
You're done. All right, yeah, let's go back to Grifka. Grifka will pick for the Cheeseheads. He loves the Packers.
Yeah, huge fan. Now, seems like Green Bay, they got a lot of players on their team getting a little long in the tooth. They released some guys. But once again, they still have Aaron Rodgers, and they're going to have to give him some help on the offense. So, once again, I wouldn't do this if I was a GM, but this is Green Bay. Since I can't stand them, I will give them T.J. Hawkinson, tight end out of Iowa.
Yeah. Grifka wants to get weapons for his favorite player, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. You know me, I love tight ends in the first round.
They work out so well.
Exactly. I'm a huge fan of it.
He's fallen to 12. Unbelievable. All right. Well, like you say, I mean, Green Bay is another team. They've been trying to find a tight end for about 7-8 years, feels like. So they try to get another one here in this draft. Let's go back to Chuck with the Miami Dolphins at 13.
Well, since Miami, I don't think they have anybody out there that can throw the ball. I mean, they just traded Tannehill, right? So if I was Miami right now, I'm looking at Drew Lock.
Yeah.
I mean, what other way could they really go with Drew Lock just sitting there available?
Like, I don't think Drew Lock is better than Haskins, but if I had my choice, I'd love to have Drew Lock in Denver and Dwayne Haskins in Miami. I feel like that's a better fit. Put him with the coordinator, Flo from the Patriots, the new head coach down there. That just seems like a perfect fit. Those guys would get Miami like more on a better, I don't know, Drew Lock in Miami. I don't know. But you're right. They need a quarterback, so. Let's go ahead. I'll go ahead and take the Falcons here. Falcons at number 14. There's been some rumor and innuendo that the Lions and Falcons could make a deal and move Lions down from 8 and maybe pick up a second rounder. You know, hoping that happens. I would love to shift down a little bit and still get a great football player and an extra draft pick. But the Falcons are sitting here. Man, they need. They always seem to go like interior or defensive line, rushers, things like that. They need some weapons, though, for Matt Ryan. They just picked up a couple receivers, but they could use a tight end. I'm gonna take a corner here for them. I always feel like they can't cover or can't play a good enough defense on the outside, so I'm gonna go ahead and take my guy, top corner on the board, Byron Murphy here for the Falcons. He's a good zone corner, gets turnovers, plays the football. So that's my pick at 14.
Does Atlanta's defense play zone corner, or are they more of a press?
I want to say they're more zone, but I feel like they rush. You know, they're aggressive rushing up front, but they've always been kind of trying to get turnovers, but they just can't. They can't cover anybody. All right, so that was the pick for the Falcons, Byron Murphy. Let's go ahead and number 15, Michael Grifka stepped to the podium. This is another big pick with the Redskins.
Redskins need some interior line help, edge, and they also need somebody on the outside. So right here, Derek taking your boy, DK Metcalf, wide receiver out of Ole Miss.
There you go. The Skins, man, they like to take wide receivers, big wide receivers, so I could see it. They haven't had as much luck as they would hope, but they do need playmakers, so I think he makes sense there. I have made a play for him for the Lions, but that's just more based on size, speed, ability, and talent. I think if, rushers and other positions, I don't think the Lions would take him, but he could end up being incredible, so we'll see. All right, so does that put me here with the Panthers, boys?
Yep.
All right, number 16, the Panthers. They often take meat and potatoes as well. Let me see what I have here. At least on our board, we have their edge, offensive tackle, safety, interior line. So I guess like with offensive tackle being their second need, I'm going to go ahead and take Jonah Williams here. I feel like Jonah Williams has been projected really high and higher than I think he should go, but we're here in the middle of the round, and I think you can move him on the right side, even maybe move him interior. That could fill maybe two spots because they have both tackle and guard as needs. So I think protect their quarterback, continue to run Christian McCaffrey all over the field. So I'm going to go with Jonah Williams there. All right, who wants to take 17? We got the Giants here, which needs to combo with my pick from earlier, if possible.
I'll take this crappy team.
Okay. 17, the Giants. They took Rashawn Gary to start. Now we're sitting here at 17. This was the trade. They gave away Odell Beckham. They got Peppers, who's now maybe in some hot water with the Popo. Who are we going 17 Giants to get them turned around?
Well, I think what they're going to do here is they're going to end up taking that they needed somebody to rush the passer. So I think they're going to go with
we already got Rashawn Gary.
Yeah, but is he really a pass rusher?
What? That's all he does.
Man, we'll see. He's big, right? How big is Gary? Gary's a big guy, right?
Yeah. 6'5", like 300 some.
6'5", 6'4", 270. 6'5", 300 something. What is he, an offensive lineman? God.
They have him listed at 270? He's not 270.
He ain't 300 plus.
Well, the Giants just traded Oliver, too, so I think they're going to go with another one. I think they're going to take the best one that's available in Cleveland Farrell.
I can see that pick happening. We all know the Giants like to have multiple pass rushers on the field at one time. So, but they're the ones that started that four defensive end on like third and long or any passing down. They would always have like 4 defensive ends to get to the quarterbacks.
NASCAR package. Yeah. See, I set you up perfectly though, Chuck. This is right where the Giants take that dweeb from the Duke Blue Devils.
I know.
They take him, man, at quarterback, and he's
love
Eli
that guy
Manning's
too.
predecessor. He looks like him. He feels like him. That would be the perfect guy. Daniel Jones right there. I don't love the player. I'd probably take him in the second round or later, but it seems like a perfect thing at 17.
I've already drafted 2 quarterbacks in this mock draft. I don't want to do anymore.
Now, is it me or Chuck? Are you thumbing through a manual like the old draft guide that you got from Barnes and Noble? I'm hearing some paper shuffling over there.
Not me.
Okay, maybe Grifka's got the Mel Kiper guide out. You got two edge rushers going, so that again shakes up the draft. So 18, we'll go back to Grifka, Minnesota Vikings.
Minnesota needs help on both lines. So right here, I'm deciding between D-line, O, and this might be kind of a reach here, but I'm going to have him take Andre Dillard, the offensive lineman out of Washington State.
All right. They love to take offensive linemen, trying to protect their quarterback. And Dalvin Cook needs to get going, man. He's been hurt and not as good as I would hope with a talent like him. Fellas, we're at 19. Let's go ahead and do like 4 or 5 in a row with little to no comebacks just so we can keep this thing moving. I'll take 19 with the Tennessee Titans. Man, I think just got to look at their needs. Edge. See what edges are available for them. I feel like they brought in a couple guys, though. Nobody I really like. Montez is still available, everybody.
Who? Oh, yeah, that's right. That was my pick, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and just make it simple. Montez Sweat, edge for the Titans. Number 20, Pittsburgh. Let's go to Grifka. Or are we back to Chuck?
Chuck.
All right, Chuck, Pittsburgh.
Well, it looks like the Steelers are going to need a receiver, so I'll have them taking A.J. Brown out of Ole Miss.
I like my boy Washington over there. I think he's going to blow up this year. And they need corners bad. They got nobody that can cover. Seahawks, Grifka, who you got?
Seahawks. They once again trying to get back to their tough defense, but they went to Cam. Right here, I'm gonna go with Christian Wilkins, D-line out of Clemson.
All right, good pick. I can see Wilkins going higher. He seems to be climbing a little bit. All right, Ravens. So I'll come back to me with the Ravens. I'm going to go ahead and take a corner. I mean, I don't love this guy. I could see him falling into round 2, but the Ravens seem to take guys like this and they end up being good. I'll go ahead and take Greedy right here. Greedy Williams, cornerback, LSU.
But he don't like to tackle, so I don't know if he'll fit on Baltimore's defense.
Yeah, but they always get these value picks for somebody slides, and they end up he ends up being good there where he wouldn't be good everywhere else just because of Baltimore's culture. So we'll see. All right, who are we at now with Houston? I'm losing track here. Chuck, Houston Texans.
Houston, I think, is going to probably end up going safety. I got him taking Deontay Thompson out of Alabama.
Ooh, Thompson. He's a guy that's fell. I see him in the second round a lot, but you got him here at 23. Why a safety for Houston so quickly?
Well, that team is, that's where their biggest need is, the back end of their secondary. They just lost, what's his name?
I don't know. They drafted Eric Reed a couple years ago. He's really good. And Honey Badger left.
Yeah, they lost to Honey Badger. Need another safety back there. I think they'll end up taking him. I've seen Thompson drop a little bit, but I've also seen him climb back up after a couple other drafts that I saw.
Okay. The name I threw out to Grifka in our previous mock that's most people don't know, but he's projected to go toward the back end of round 1. Nasir Adderley out of Delaware, sort of the top safety from what I've been hearing. But
yeah, him or Thornhill. Yeah, they're both of those two are pretty decent as well.
Yeah, there's a couple lower name guys, but Thompson was a big name, and like I say, we'll see where he falls. Grifka 24 Raiders, the Oakland Raiders.
See, if I'm doing my calculations correct, I get the next two Raider picks. That's one and the next one, so got to spend wisely here. So I think right here they need a running back, so I'm going to have him take Josh Jacobs, running back out of Alabama.
Yep, at number 4, they got Quentin Williams. So to get Josh Jacobs here, I think they got a couple real big primetime players that they've taken. So I don't mind that at all. I probably would have taken him here with Philly. So now Philly's sitting here. They really need a running back, but
they just got Jordan Howard.
Like I said, they really need a running back here.
Philadelphia stockpiles running backs. Average running backs.
But since he's gone, let me go ahead and look at who else might work for him. They're obviously loaded at tight end. I'll go ahead and go receiver here. We're at the back end of the round. They always seem to sort of like skill players, that can score points, get touchdowns. I'd take N'Keal Harry here, 25 for the Eagles.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that a sneeze?
You don't like him?
Me? Yeah, I like him. I think there's a receiver that has jumped up a lot of people's boards that had a great pro day, and I think he's going to end up going before N'Keal Harry. But
you can take him here with Indianapolis if you want. It's your pick.
That's my plan now.
I want to. Who is this?
You don't know who he is?
No, we got DK's off the board and AJ Brown, N'Keal Harry. Who's jumping above those guys?
Hakeem Butler.
Oh no.
Iowa State.
Oh, you hit Derek right on the nerve there. You hit somebody he don't like. Get ready to be thrashed.
Well, Derek must not have done his homework if he don't like him.
Oh, he's done it. Dr. Z always does his homework.
I do not mind Hakeem Butler, from a physical traits. He's got drop issues. He is working out with Calvin Johnson, so he'll probably quit after his first 4 years or so. He'll leave the league. This guy to me is a second round upside play, a roll of the dice that he's going to be incredible. I think he could be good, but I also think it's a projection for that type of guy, no doubt.
Well, everything I'm reading on him, they loved what he did. They love what he showed. Big guy, 6'6", somebody that can really help. Andrew Luck on the outside. Take a little pressure off of. Man, names are really escaping me today.
Eric
T.Y. Hilton.
Oh, They also
Yeah.
have Grifka's favorite tight end there. You forgot about him.
Oh, frying pan in the hands, Ebron.
He still had the, top 5 in drops too, but he still had a good year. So that just means that, Andrew Luck doesn't care. He'll keep throwing it to him because eventually he's got to catch the ball, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind it for the Colts, to be honest. I don't think you're right though that like N'Keal Harry is a guy that has crazy production for like 2-3 years, I think it is, and he can move all around. So I still think he's the number 3 receiver. On this board, even maybe above A.J. Brown, to be honest, just from physical perspective. But like you say, Hakeem Butler's got some huge upside, no doubt. Grifka, 27 with the Raiders. Who you got?
Let's see. I just had running back, and they let's see. They need help in the defensive backfield right here. So you know who I'm taking. Pencil it in. They're taking Rock Ya-Sin.
Oh my God.
Cornerback out of Temple.
2 rounds too early.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna love that Thursday night where I'm blowing you up over this crap. 2 rounds too early.
So Chuck, I don't know if you heard the previous show. So he said Rock Ya-Sin. I've been saying he's a 3rd round prospect, and now since that podcast, Mel Kiper's got Rock Ya-Sin in the 1st round. A couple other mocks have him in the 1st round. Oh yeah.
I still got him in my 2nd.
Yeah, I'd love to pick him up in the 3rd, but he's a good football player. The only reason Grifka knows him is because he listened to the Oak Creek mock draft show where I talked for 5 minutes about Rock Ya-Sin. He thought he was a Chinese, marketing worker before that.
He's not?
So, I don't know. Rock Ya-Sin. I'd love it if he'd call you up and try to sell you something. All right.
Rock Ya-Sin.
It's a great name. Grifka drafts her name, too. That's the other thing. If you got a good name, he moves you up the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to. All right. Chargers. Who's got this one?
This would be you?
This is me. Yep. So we got Butler, Rock Ya-Sin, Chargers. Man, I love the Chargers team, man. They're so good. I think right here, see their needs again. Yep, they got offensive tackle as a need, so this guy's fallen a lot farther than I think he really will. Cody Ford out of Oklahoma. Seen him up in the top 10-ish, top 15. I'm going to take him here at 28. We got the Chiefs on the clock, 29. Getting close to the end of this thing. Lots of good players still out there.
Yeah, the Chiefs. Well, let's see, what do they need now? Yeah, I was going to say they were looking for they were trying to get into the Earl Thomas sweepstakes, and they got outbidded. So I think they're going to take Derek's boy Adderley here.
Hold on, though. They got Honey Badger.
Did they sign Honey Badger?
Yeah, he's out in KC now.
Oh, you're right. What do they need?
I still think they need another safety.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
lost
but
a lot in the
Adderley,
defensive backfield.
Adderley's he's a free/cover type guy more so than a hitter. You need a hitter to go with Matthew, don't you? Or are you going to play him down in the box?
Well, then the next best safety that would be a hitter would probably be Thornhill from Virginia.
He's not a first rounder.
According to you.
Okay, go ahead.
But according to the experts, we have him at the 23rd best player. So I'm not sure what
he's a 3rd rounder.
what you've been reading.
23rd best player? No way.
Yeah.
Oh
If Derek doesn't like him, they fall in the 3rd round automatically. So the 3rd round's just loaded with talent.
Tell Derek to get his book out at Barnes & Noble so I can buy it.
Tell Grifka that you can get good players in the 3rd round because he thinks there's a drop-off after number 8.
Yeah, that's okay,
Number
though,
7.
but if you don't agree with them, they automatically fall to the 3rd round. So, anybody is like, they're 3rd round. They're the 4th day of the draft.
All right. Clock's winding down. KC.
Anyways, I'm still going with Thornhill, so that's where we're at.
All right. Let me see if I can find him on my sheet here.
Right on the first page.
All right. Is this Grifka again getting to pick for the Packers? Or is this me?
Don't worry.
This is Grifka.
It's 4 players ahead of Devin Bush. So just look right above Devin Bush and you'll find Thornhill.
All right.
Let's see. Okay, though. Yeah, I get the Packers again. So, They need a safety, and since Derek was nice enough to talk you out of Nasir Adderley, I'll take him here. See, he's first round talent, low first round because Derek likes him.
Yeah, he's number 36 on my list.
Hey, that'd be a good fit, man. They just brought in Amos over there too. That'd be two good safeties for them.
Amos, yeah.
All right, I got the Rams. The Rams, man, they love to just light up the scoreboard. They got lots of good people here. I'm almost thinking like for the Patriots, because the Patriots are going to get a stud. There's lots of good people on the board. I'm going to go ahead and take. I'm going to take this guy. I've seen him in the first round, even with the injury, and we're at 31. I'm going to take Simmons here, Jeffrey Simmons. I feel like he's an absolute monster. They're losing Sue. They probably would just take this guy and redshirt him for a year, and then he'd come next year and be an absolute monster in the middle of their defense. So I'll go ahead and take him. Get another beast next to Aaron Donald, I guess. I was going to take an offensive player, but they have too many offensive players. I mean, I could have went tight end, but 32, the Patriots closing us out.
It's me. The Patriots, I could see going defensive line here too as well, but I think with the recent news, I think they're going to end up taking Noah Fant, tight end out of Iowa.
Yeah, that's a great pick. I'm almost like mad we didn't take him earlier, that they would get a guy just sitting there. Like, that's perfect for what they lost, and just a heck of a football player.
Yeah, I think without trades, with all these teams trading up to take all these quarterbacks in the first 10 picks, a lot of people fell, a lot further than what they would normally in a normal draft.
Yeah.
And that always throws me off.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the list, seeing if there's anybody out that didn't go. I mean, I'll throw it to you guys, but the jump right to me is, where's Marquise Brown going to go? He's got the foot injury, but I still see him going mid-round or like top of the second round. There's a pretty big variance, but he's an electric football player, super tiny little guy. And then Garrett Bradbury, interior lineman or center from NC State's getting a lot of buzz being in the first round. Any names you guys see that like you think will go that we didn't get in there?
I still think I think Irv Smith, even though it's another tight end in the first round, I think he's definitely first round talent. He's a guy that kind of surprised that didn't make our draft, and maybe Dexter Lawrence, the D-line out of Clemson.
Yep, those are guys like say, will they get to the back end of the first, or will they be early in the second? I mean, I think they're good names to bring up. Any names hit you, Chuck? Or
nope. Nothing that I'm looking over. Everything seems to be what was taken. I think with Dexter Lawrence, he'll have to find the right fit because he's a big guy. He'll have to probably be more of a 3-4 guy at DL1.
Yeah, I agree. Situation, but I mean, you don't find guys 340 that move like him either. So I think he's going to be good if he gets in the right system and whatnot. And Grifka, your boy DeAndre Baker is still sitting here. You loved him, taking him in the top 15, I think, earlier. Now he's out of the first round.
It's because I had to take Rocky Sin. Hey, Chuck, with you being a Cowboys fan and them not having a first-round pick, is there a spot where they are picking that you're kind of targeting, kind of have a few guys circled? That's like if this guy fell to him, you'd be pretty happy with that pick?
This is the Koolaid Cast. Nobody cares. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Derek. What are they? Pick 58? I think is what they pick. If somebody fell to 58, I think if a free safety, maybe the kid out of Florida would be all right late in the second round.
Maybe Thornhill will be there for you.
No, Thornhill's a first-round guy. He'll be gone.
So you're talking Chauncey Gardner-Johnson?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
Somebody that can actually, play the ball and tackle. We got a guy back there that can't do either or. he needs to go back to SVSU and teach or something. But
Grifka, Chuck, are you good with the Cowboys offense?
yeah, to an extent, I'm still not sold on,
Dak,
the quarterback, but the rest of it's fine. You've got receivers. You've got a good young receiver. Actually, two good young receivers that are going to be, good for a long time. And Amari exceeded all the expectations I had of him. I didn't think he was going to do what he did, and he made me eat crow, and I'm okay to eat crow when it comes to the Cowboys. So.
Yeah, I think they got good, like you say, offense. Just add a few pieces. Grifka, let's end this right with being a Detroit Koolaid Cast. I took Brian Burns in this mock at number 8, with the Lions coming up in the early second round there. Pick 43 if they stay there. Who would you pair up with Brian Burns? Just kind of guessing who might be on there. It'd be a nice 1-2 punch. Jeez. Or pair him up with Sweat, since you took Sweat. Like, who else would you want? Sweat, and who would be a good first, second round for our Lions?
I still think they need cornerback help. And I know we've slaughtered this guy's name 1,000 times, the Mani Ouri out of Penn State.
Yeah.
So that would be a guy. Even though I would take this guy if he was sitting in the second round, because you find him in the third round, that's my boy Rock Yassin, even though he's a first-round talent.
Oh man, hey, this is my new take, Grifka, and you guys both might hate this. So let's say they passed on a Brian Burns, they took another position. Like, I have a feeling like the only way that you can get a Chase Winovich is taking him at 43, and I think he'd be the perfect edge, locker room culture type of guy for the Lions. The way they're going, he'd be like a Ninkovich for this team. But if I'm taking Burns at 8. I'm with you, Grifka. I'd probably look at a Warrior, or I'd look at, some of these other corners that are there. I feel like that's our biggest need, is just shoring up the outside spot. I love our safeties, linebackers getting better, all that type of stuff. So that, or, hey, man, if a Marquise Brown fell and they thought his foot was okay, another explosive offensive weapon would be nice too, I think. So that's where I'd go.
Yeah, it's a good pick too.
All right, well, sounds good, man. It was fun to run through this first round. We told the Detroit Kool-Aid drinkers we'd give them a first round. It's great to get Chuck in here. Had some good takes, had some really good picks across the board. It was fun to work our way through it. And, man, a few weeks and it'll be the real thing. So we'll see maybe if we squeeze another one in before then. But like Grifka said, names are changing. People are moving up and down the board. But everybody, there's our first round mock draft here in late March, heading into April. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here. But before we do that, we got to say one thing. Grifka, you got anything else for the people before we get out of here?
Nope.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. We'll check you this week, Wednesday and Friday, right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. Take care, everybody.
Pack the bag, start the plane. This game is over. It is over. What a comeback by the Lions.
Drink it in, man.